Imagine walking into work one morning only to be told that by the evening your office doors would be locked, possibly forever. That's exactly what happened at the U.S. Department of Education, sending shockwaves across the nation. With nearly half of the department's 4,100 employees laid off and key offices shutting down, many are wondering, is this the beginning of the end for federal education oversight? The Trump administration has long advocated for the elimination of the Department of Education, and this latest move suggests that the goal is now closer than ever. But what does this mean for students, teachers, and parents? Will states be able to handle the redistribution of federal education funds, or is the system on the verge of collapse? In this in-depth report, we break down the most critical details of this unprecedented decision and its impact on the future of learning in America. In an unexpected yet strategic move, the Department of Education announced that employees must vacate their offices by 6 p.m., locking out thousands of workers indefinitely. Nearly 50% of staff members are being cut, with the administration calling it a reduction in force. President Trump's administration has been clear about its intentions, cutting bureaucratic excess, returning power to the states, and ultimately dismantling the Department of Education altogether. Education Secretary Linda McMahon reaffirmed this stance, stating, "This is just the first step toward eliminating waste." Among the hardest-hit divisions is the Office for Civil Rights, responsible for investigating discrimination cases in schools nationwide. With a significant portion of its workforce dismissed, concerns are rising about whether civil rights protections for students with disabilities, racial minorities, and victims of school-related sexual misconduct will be adequately enforced. Similarly, 7 out of 12 regional offices have been shut down, further reducing federal oversight on education programs. This decentralization raises the question, are individual states equipped to handle the complex responsibilities previously managed at the federal level? One of the biggest concerns surrounding these layoffs is their impact on the Office of Federal Student Aid. At least 300 employees responsible for managing student loans have been dismissed, raising alarms among borrowers already struggling with repayment programs. With fewer staff members available to assist with loan forgiveness, deferments, and income-driven repayment plans, students may find it harder than ever to navigate the system. Experts warn that delays, errors, and lack of clear guidance could lead to increased defaults on student loans. For students who rely on federally funded special education programs, this shakeup could have devastating consequences. The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, ensures that children with special needs receive appropriate education, including tailored instruction and essential services such as speech therapy. But with budget cuts and reduced staffing, families may face longer wait times, fewer resources, and a lack of enforcement for these critical programs. This shift places more responsibility on state governments, but critics argue that many states lack the funding and expertise to fully uphold IDEA's protections. The timing of this massive overhaul comes at a crucial moment when student performance is already under scrutiny. In states like Massachusetts, post-pandemic learning recovery remains incomplete, with students struggling to catch up in math and reading. The U.S. consistently ranks below many developed nations in reading and math proficiency. Despite heavy investment in education, national test scores reveal stagnation, with only 18% of 8th graders proficient in reading and 22% in math. With the federal government pulling back on oversight, will these numbers improve or worsen? While the administration appears determined to dismantle the Department of Education, achieving this goal is no simple task. Eliminating a federal agency requires congressional approval, which would need a supermajority of 60 votes in the Senate, a challenging feat given the current political divide. Previous efforts to eliminate the Department of Education have failed multiple times since its establishment in 1979. The reality is that education funding and oversight are deeply embedded in national policies, and a complete shutdown would require states to restructure their entire approach to education funding and regulation. As the Department of Education undergoes its most significant transformation in history, students, parents, and educators must brace for a new reality. Whether this move will lead to improved efficiency or create chaos remains to be seen. Half of the Department of Education's workforce has been laid off. 7 regional offices have been shut down, including the Office for Civil Rights. The Office of Federal Student Aid has lost hundreds of employees, complicating student loan processing. The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, may face enforcement challenges. The elimination of the department still faces significant political and legal barriers. The fate of the Department of Education is still unfolding, but your voice matters now more than ever. Whether you support decentralization or believe in federal oversight, now is the time to take action. Stay informed by following trusted news sources to track the latest developments in education policy. Engage in local advocacy by attending school board meetings and connecting with educators in your community. Contact your representatives to make your voice heard by reaching out to local and federal lawmakers. Share this information, because the more people understand these changes, the more we can shape the future of education. What's your take on this historic decision? Do you think abolishing the Department of Education is the right move? Let us know in the comments and join the discussion. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more breaking news analysis. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on the biggest stories affecting education.